Welcome to Rock Your Reinvention. I'm Karen Freeland, your guide to ditching corporate and designing a life you love. If you're ready to shift your mindset, boost your confidence, and finally take action on that dream career or business, you're in the right place. It's your time. Let's rock your reinvention. I've been coaching female entrepreneurs and small business owners for the past 5 years. And what I've come to learn is that there are a few non-negotiables for scaling your business. And if you don't follow these non-negotiables, you'll be back in corporate before you know what hit you. I don't mean to be bleak or scare you, but there are some definite principles that need to be followed to improve your chances of success. Now, let's set some realistic expectations here. I am so sick of these Instagram influencers that talk about making money while I sleep. That doesn't happen, okay? Like maybe for 3 people, but for the rest of us, we make money when we're awake and when we're working. I make money when I coach people, when I go out and speak, when I get a new client from my podcast that I recorded while I was awake, when I deliver the social posts for the women who I ghostwrite for, or any other client deliverable for that matter. None of this happens while I am sleeping. Did you know 33% of all businesses bring in over $100,000 in annual revenue in the USA? 39% of businesses are earning more than $100,000 a year. That is a very small percentage. And for women, that figure is even lower. It's only 12% of female-led businesses that bring in more than $100K a year. 12%, y'all. 12%. Now, I'm not saying this to deter you from going into business. I just want to set the proper expectations because so many women get discouraged when they don't replace their corporate income in year 1. But when you look at the statistics, you basically have to be a unicorn to do that, okay? And I know you're fabulous and you're all things glitter, and I love that about you, but maybe you're not a unicorn yet, and that's okay. What I want to do is share the things that are going to help you become one of the 12%. And you absolutely can. There's no reason you can't be one of the 12%. But you have to follow these important tips that I'm going to share. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet and to the point today. Non-negotiable number 1, defined goals. Girlfriend, your business is not a hobby. Don't tell me for one sec that you don't need goals or that they're in your head. I love that one. Do you think that the Starbucks leadership team has goals in their head, or that the Target leadership team allows their people to just not set goals? Like you can just skip that. Don't worry about it. No. Legitimate business cannot survive without goals. Will you hit them all? No. I mean, if you trade the stock market like me, you know that companies miss earnings and analyst estimates all the time. It's not the end of the world. But you have to write down your yearly goals and then break them down to quarterly goals, to monthly goals, maybe even weekly or daily goals, depending on the business. Because without these goals, you cannot determine an action plan. You and your team don't actually know what to work on. Without goals, you don't know if you're on track or not. You don't know what to say yes to and what to say no to. So make your SMART goals. There's a whole section in my book, Grab Life by the Dreams, if you need help on this. Go get a copy on Amazon right now. Non-negotiable number 2, discipline. Discipline is more important than motivation. Why? Because motivation will come and go, sometimes for weeks or even months at a time. But even on a weekly basis, we all have days where we just don't feel like doing something, or maybe anything. And when you work for yourself, there really isn't anyone to force you to do otherwise. I've had plenty of slumps myself. And that's when discipline carries you. Whether it's posting on social, recording that podcast episode, or picking up the phone to call potential clients. Discipline means you keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it. And over time, that consistency is what makes your success inevitable. So where do you need a little more discipline in your business? If you're like most women, it's probably in the sales department or in the marketing department. So have a think about that for yourself and think of one thing that you can do to have more discipline in your business. Okay, non-negotiable number 3, get a business coach. I know you were probably expecting me to say that. And I mean, I'm a coach, so it makes sense I would tell you to hire me, right? But I promise this is not self-serving. I found an article that said access to mentorship increases a female entrepreneur's success rate by, wait for it, 70%. 70%. I mean, that is huge. It's not just like, 10 or 15% more chances of being successful. No, 70%. So if you want any hope of being in that 12% of female entrepreneurs who makes over $100,000 a year, you need to have support. But how does it increase your success rate? Well, a lot of times it comes down to seeing the blind spots. And we all have them, right? Sometimes we're just so close to a challenge or a problem that we can't see around that issue. And that's where a coach comes in and can be really helpful. Sometimes we experience self-doubt or that inner critic just gets a little too loud. And we need that third party, that unbiased opinion to come in and help us see just how fabulous we are. I've said it before and I will say it again. When I hired my first business coach, I was like, no, just give me the playbook. Like, just tell me how you are successful and I will do all those things. I don't need mindset work. I'm a coach. Like, I can figure that out on my own. I'll coach myself. Oh my goodness. 90% of our sessions was mindset work and 10% was mechanics and, all the blueprint stuff that I thought I needed. Honestly, you just don't understand until you have a business coach how transformational this can be and how it can help you get from A to Z faster than you could do it on your own. So get support. You are worth it. You deserve it. And I kind of hate to use the word deserve because it's almost like, well, what do I have to do in order to deserve it? But like, you're just inherently worthy of this, okay? Of investing in yourself. And when you invest in yourself and when you get a coach, those are things that no one can take away from you. Like, those tools and things that you learn through a coach are with you for the rest of your life. And that's pretty awesome. What other investment does that for you? Okay, non-negotiable number 4, maintain a positive mindset. I can't tell you how many clients I have to coach out of a funk when business doesn't meet their expectations. And here's the thing. That's totally normal, right? It's totally normal that business is not always going to be booming. It's not always going to meet the goals and the expectations that you have for it. And when you were in corporate, you were probably used to these down seasons. This wasn't something unexpected or novel or, oh my gosh, I can't believe our business is taking a nosedive. Right? You've experienced a dip in your stock price. You've experienced plummeting sales because of a bad product. You've dealt with bad press or social media backlash. And yet the second something like that happens to you in your business, or you don't achieve a perfect performance in everything you do or set out to do, you sink into this deep depression. Or at the very least, you berate yourself and swear you aren't cut out for business. And you might be laughing right now because you know it's true. And I'm not saying this has never happened to me. Lord knows it has. But I am saying that I do everything in my power to make sure that it doesn't happen again Or if it does happen, it is such a blip on my radar. Like I'm there for 1 second and then I become self-aware and I course correct. Because here's why. A negative mindset does not help you. I've never had a negative mindset or been having negative thoughts and then had an awesome sales call. Like, wow, I just really nailed it with that potential client. Or gone out and given a great presentation or recorded the best podcast episode of my life. It's a waste of energy and it does nothing to serve your business when you allow yourself to stay in that negative mindset. When you actively work on keeping your mindset positive, though, you can actually create positive shifts and momentum in your business. So what could you do to ensure that you have a positive mindset? Maybe it's listening to your Badass Woman playlist, or maybe it's writing all the good things that are happening in your business down in a journal and then reading that daily. Personally, I love to go back and read those old reviews from clients about how I've helped them change their life. So think about what would work for you and then make a list so that you have it handy whenever you're tempted to have a negative thought. And non-negotiable number 5 is trust your intuition. I don't care what your business coaches or mentors tell you. At some point, you have to give things a gut check and trust your intuition. Unfortunately, there are a lot of so-called coaches out there who aren't really coaches. They are people teaching a process or a framework, and those can be valuable, don't get me wrong. But they only teach you one way. Typically, the way that coach has been successful. But here's the thing, that's not the only way to achieve success. I had a client send me a message recently, and I'm going to actually read it to you verbatim. She was getting ready to launch a support group, which is a lower ticket offer for her. She hasn't had something like this before in her business. And she said, "Thank you for believing in me and pushing me to start this. I doubted so much. Every other person I've been coached by before you told me it wouldn't work." Are you freaking kidding me? That's not coaching. Telling someone something won't work is consulting or giving advice. No, coaching is asking questions to see what is most aligned to your vision, your goals, and your values. What kind of coach tells someone that a low-ticket support group won't work? Especially to someone who's been in business for as long as her with as big of an audience as she has. Yeah, if you were just starting out and you were like, "Karen, I want to come out into the market with my first offer," I'm always going to tell you to go high ticket first because you don't have to sell as many to actually replace your income. But once you get established and you have enough people in your audience, you can do really well with a low ticket offer. So I want you to get a good coach, like I said in non-negotiable number 3, but I also want you to remember that you can veto and override anything that coach tells you. This is your life, your business, and your impact in the world. Always, always remember that. So look, if you have defined goals, you are disciplined enough to follow through on the action plans to achieve those goals, you get a good business coach, keep a positive attitude, and trust your intuition, success isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You will be one of the 12%, you will scale your business, and you will be making over $100,000 a year. Hey, if you love this episode, will you share it with another female business owner? I would greatly appreciate it, and I know she will too. Thank you. Now it's time to go rock your reinvention. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're inspired to take action by committing to one of the tips or strategies we talked about in today's episode. If you want more accountability and support, I've got your back. Book a complimentary Empowered Exit Strategy call today. Visit KarenFreeland.com to learn more and book your 45-minute session. Until next time, stay fabulous.